So I want to stand on the already established protocol because again, we have so much to say around this, um, so that we don't reestablish the protocol. The protocol is already strong and is already resting on a very strong pillar. Today, I've been asked to speak on leading a branch effectively. And as we all know, strong leadership, strong brand leadership is not just important, it's very essential in what we do, especially at CIPM. So it's not optional, it's not secondary, it's essential to the life, the growth, the continued relevance of our institute, our branches, chapters, and not some, side units that we run at a side. They are not afterthoughts. No, they were created to be the core delivery channels of the institute's mandate. They are a grassroots engine, the very place where strategy meets reality, where policy becomes programs, and where vision becomes action. So this is how important, the branches are. And if I may borrow from Thomas Edison, vision without execution is merely hallucination. So the national may be doing a lot, but if it's not executed at the grassroots level, we're just wasting our time. It's easy to roll out big ideas from the center, but the true test of those ideas is, can they come alive at the branch levels? Can they engage people locally? Can they move the needle in real time, in real places? And so if we discover that when branches are strong, the institute becomes strong as well. And yes, when branches are strengthened, the institute is strengthened. When branches are vibrant, the institute becomes visible. When branches are well led, not just managed, but well led, the institute becomes impactful, it becomes very influential. And the branch is like a business unit in a larger organization, the organization, all of us work, within one. Your performance affects the whole organization. Your energy feeds, the center, and you are not just representing CIPM, you are building it where you are at your local level. So it's not that some people are at the national while you are running your own thing at the local level. We are one part of one big family with each part of the body having its own function. But again, we are not called to do everything. We are just called to do the right things that move the CIPM mission forward. And that's why I'm passionate about this conversation, because I believe that with the right leadership at the branch and chapter levels, CIPM can grow faster, reach wider, and deliver better value to members. So we move to the next slide, and this is about leading the branch effectively. Number one, one of the very first thing every branch chairman, every chapter chairman, every branch executive must do is to gain clarity of the CIPM mandate. My dear sister Lola Eson has spoken so much about this today, the direction we're heading. And what do I mean by that? I mean, you must have crystal clear understanding of who we are as an institute, why we exist, what your branch is expected to deliver within the larger CIPM ecosystem. And as we all know, CIPM is the apex regulatory body for human resource management practice in Nigeria, chartered by an act of parliament. So we are not operating by convenience, we are operating by law. And with that charter comes weighty responsibilities, not just to regulate the profession, but to elevate the practice of HR across Nigeria and beyond. We're in Canada, we're in the UK, we're in the US. So we are to elevate the practice of HR across the globe, if I'm permitted to say that. So as a branch leader, as a chapter leader, you are not just there to organize events or manage people. No, you are a strategic enabler of the institute's mandate. You are the institute's local heartbeat, the operational arm on the ground where you are. And that's why you must understand the national vision, to be the institute of choice for people management. That's what is written, that we do. That's as our vision. And you must be able to translate it into local action where you are. Because no matter how brilliant our national strategy is, if you fail at the branch level, the institute weakens. But if you thrive, the institutes are soars. The national body has laid out clear expectations, and they are not for fancy. They're designed to drive impact, drive consistency, and structure across all branches and chapters. For instance, we're expected to hold at least, if I'm correct, 4 executive meetings minimally annually. And why? Because without regular executive engagements, there is no alignment, no cohesion, no accountability. You will be leading in silos. The chairman is doing his own thing, the vice is doing his own thing, everybody is doing their thing, the chapters are fixing programs clashing with the branch, and people are doing things in silo, and that's a risk no branch should take. So we're expected to organize these executive meetings just to ensure that there is alignment and cohesion. Also expected to organize a minimum of 5 general meetings every year. Clarity of mandate. What are we expected to do, at our local levels? And we're expected to organize this meeting because general meetings are where the heart of membership engagement happens. It's where the engagement happens. That's where you communicate, you re-energize, you reconnect with your people. So it's our responsibility to ensure we organize meetings to engage our people. We're also expected to hold an annual public lecture or a branch conference. That's 1 per year, it's not too much, and it's a platform for us to come together. And because thought leadership is central to our brand, the institute wants us to position ourselves as the go-to authority, in HR within our communities, especially, since all these dwarfs calling themselves charter, Institute of Human Resource Management, without holding a charter, are springing up. We have to position CIPM where we are, as a value provider, and public lectures and CIPM branch conferences are a way to do this. They are a powerful way to do this. We're expected to deliver at least 3 professional development sessions, if I'm correct. I think it's still minimally 3, but you can do more. We did several of them last year and this year. I think I'm still part of the branch, so I wanted to say at my former branch, but I'm still, even though I'm on the council now, I'm still a member of Ogun State branch. So we're expected to deliver at least 3 of those professional development sessions annually, seminars, workshops, webinars. And that's because learning is at the core of our identity. It's at the core of our identity. It's how we create value. It's how we help members stay competitive today. Courtesy visits, industrial visits, advocacy engagements, at least 2 each per year. That's what we're expected to do. And these are our way of forging strategic partnerships, deepening our relevance and opening doors. The doors of for visibility, doors for membership growth, doors for policy influence. That's how we open these doors. So please, let's take all these seriously. This is the mandate we are given. We cannot refine it to suit, our locality. Then there's our work with tertiary institutions and the NYC orientation camps. We are expected to do this twice a year, and we do this for pipeline development. All of these mushroom institutes are penetrated everywhere, and we need to rethink how we also do this advocacy. We won't just go to NYC like some of us have been doing. We just go there and we go there just to tick the box and send the reports to the national. That you say we should go to the NYC orientation camp. We have gone and we have come back. So give us our full mark. No, the other smaller institutes are going there, organizing training programs, organizing, issuing certificates. I was embarrassed when one of my proteges came to me and said, boss, I am now an HR professional. I mean, I've earned certification, in HR. And I said, how? Congratulations, but how did you, because he's still a copper, how did you quickly get certified in CIPM within, I mean, you should be spending like 1 year. So he brought out the certificates excitedly and said, this other institute, he paid, is it 25,000 or 35,000 naira? And they sat with them there, trained them, and issued certificate, 3 certificates. One as an associate member of, as an associate member of the institute. The second one, I think they call it Advanced Diploma in Human Resource Management. And the third one, Professional Personnel Manager. I was embarrassed. And I had to speak with the president, and he had given the mandate that we lead this effort. We had to rethink how we do this advocacy visits. We had to be on ground, train these people, add value, and if possible, issue certificates. Talks are also on with the leadership and HQ. I discussed it with Mr. Jibola also, so that we manage this at the center. So we need to, we can't continue to do what we have been doing and expect a different result. So let's take these tertiary institution visits and NYC orientation camp visits very seriously. And then the branch newsletter or magazine, at least one annually, not just any newsletter, we're talking about a newsletter that reflects the institute's brand integrity and a professional tone. These publications are thought capital, and they give us a voice in the HR space. So please, let's ensure we get the needed approval, to ensure that our publications comply with the Institute's brand guidance. We're also mandated to focus on members' reactivation, reaching out to those who have gone quiet or inactive. We need to reach out to them. And why? Because our strength is not just in the number of members on the register. We have so many members on the register, but how many of them are active? So it's in the number of active, engaged professionals who are living the CIPM values. Yes, that's where our strength is. And lastly, zonal collaboration, partnering with other branches within our zone to deliver impactful public lecture or, conferences. We are also expected to do this. So yes, clarity of mandate is what gives direction to your passion, because passion without alignment is just mere noise. Passionate in your locality, but how much of those, events, of those initiatives align with what the CIPM is actually asking us to do at our local level? So we'll move to the next slide. In leading a branch effectively, we also need to look at strategic planning and execution. Passion is good. Energy is great, but without structure, without a plan, you are just on emotion without progress. And that's why, the moment you assume leadership of a branch or chapter, you must immediately shift from activity mode to a strategy mode. What do I mean by that? Before your tenure gathers momentum, before the email starts flooding in and the event starts piling up, you need to pause and plan. Define your annual goals. Be clear on where you're going, not just what you want to do, but what you want to achieve. There's a difference between doing and achieving. It's a difference between doing and achieving. What do we want to achieve? What are your growth targets? How do you want to impact members this year? How do you want your branch to be perceived, both internally and in the wider HR ecosystem? How do you want to say your achievements are during your next AGM? What do you want to say? Plan it now. As a matter of fact, script out something that you want to write as your achievement during your next AGM. You know, leadership at the branch level must not be reduced to let's just do programs. No, we must lead like business executives, like transformation agents. So set your strategic intent for the year, then cascade that into clear objectives. Clear objectives, member growth targets, revenue growth, brand visibility milestones that you want to achieve, capacity building interventions that you want to embark on, stakeholder engagement, and so on. All these must be documented and shared so everyone knows the why behind the what that you are doing. They must know why, the why behind the what you are doing. And here's where alignment becomes critical. Here's why alignment becomes critical. It's not enough to have your own great ideas. Your branch plan must be in sync, strategically aligned with the national agenda. All of those things Mrs. Lolaison had reeled out. Your branch agenda, all the great ideas you have must strategically align with all of those national agenda. CIPM headquarters already has a calendar of national events, focus area, flagship initiatives. So don't work in silo, plug into this larger picture, and your branch is one part of the national body, the global body, if you are permitting to say that. And if the hand moves in one direction and the foot in another, you get nowhere fast. So what do you do? We take the national calendar and use it to shape our local execution. We localize the strategy. Yes, we localize the strategy, not by reducing it, but by contextualizing it. Contextualizing it. This local we're talking about is also applicable here. Next, execution. And this is where many leaders fall short. Planning is beautiful, no doubt. But strategy retreats are also exciting. Yes. PowerPoint looks nice when you present them at your executive retreats, but execution is what separates visionary leaders from performers. Execution, this is what separates noisemakers from those that are out to achieve results. And it makes breaking down your goals into actionable plans. It means assigning ownership. It means building a performance culture within your executive team and various committees. Every committee must have KPIs, not vague. I'm going to show you in the next few slides the KPIs we used. Every committee must have KPIs, not vague responsibilities, but specific deliverables. You're heading programs, we need to know how many events, are you driving this year? What outcome are you targeting? What partnerships are you exploring? If you're in charge of finance, how are you optimizing revenue streams and managing financial risk? So without KPIs, you can't track. And now you people, all of you leaders, HR leaders across organizations, now you talk, say, whatever it is you don't track, you can't measure. Whatever it is you don't measure, you can't manage. So when is the issue of CIPM now? Why are we doing it differently? So don't just set plans for what's ideal, plan for the obstacles too. Yeah, it's good to have nice plans, but risk management is also important. The challenges will come. Yes, the challenges will come. Low turnout, budget constraints, logistical issues, even executive apathy. Some of the executives will run away. We abandon you and feel, this is not their 9 to 5. But the challenges, as plenty as they be, you can't wish them away. You cannot wish them away. So what you need to do is to anticipate this early, build buffers, create fallback options. That's what strategic thinking is. You don't just plan for success, you also need to plan for survival. Plan for survival. My time as the chairman, our executive team had a working document we review every quarter. It helped us track performance and stay agile. So please, I'll leave that there because of time and move to the next. Okay, fine. This is what I was talking about. These are some of the KPIs we set. This one is for the Strategic Growth Committee. The objectives are clear, the KPIs are there, the target is there, the timeline for delivery is there, the owner of there, and we suggested a couple of initiatives. I led the team that did this because, again, I was leading the branch. This is the one for membership committee. All committees have. So in each of our meetings, everybody comes and tell us progress reports. Not, you're not telling us stories. Progress reports. Underline that progress. So in the objectives, targets we set for you, where are we now? So you are giving us updates. This is where we are. These are the challenges. So we at the executive level, we are always looking for how to remove, the clog of wheels that may want to hinder progress, because we have set the goal, we have set the objectives. If these guys achieve the objectives we give to them, there's no way we will overperform. We will overperform. So please, let's take note of this. So we're looking at member-centered focus next. Our members are the reason we exist, no doubt. They are the reasons we exist. You won't be an executive if there are no members. Everything we do, the meetings, the programs, the advocacy, the reporting, it all begins and ends with one question: how does this create value for our members? How does this create value for our members? And as branch leaders, chapter leaders, if we are not prioritizing members' needs, and I mean truly prioritizing, then we are missing the mark. We are missing the mark big time, because our members are the real stakeholders. They are the odogus. They are the professionals with evolving realities, expectations, aspirations. Yeah, the reasons we exist. So member-centered leadership is a growth strategy. Member-centered leadership. The more value you deliver, the more engaged your members become. The more value you deliver to your members, the more engaged your members become. The more engaged your members are, the more visible your branch becomes. Yes, the more engaged they are, the more visible your branch becomes. And when visibility increases, what happens? Trust increases, sponsorship increases, membership increases. So it's a ripple effect, and this is why you must focus on delivering value to your members. During my time as the chairman, we didn't just start by launching surveys, not because we didn't value them, but because we wanted something more direct. We went grassroots. We created platforms for listening, for feedback, for engagement with decentralized leadership. Initially, everybody had to travel to Abeokuta during meetings. Other branches, other chapters are cut off. If you're not in Abeokuta, you don't know what's happening. So we had to decentralize, leadership. We activated, multiple committees, not just for decoration, not just for structure alone, but for inclusion. For inclusion, we created a member support center, a one-stop interface where members could get help, where they could get answers, where they could get direction. And that was our way of saying, you matter, our members. You matter here. We even established a leadership and mediation committee, not because, our conflict is inevitable, but because, unity must be intentional. So any issue, we push it to them. They solve the problems for us. We had periodic, general meetings, and we didn't just talk. Listen. We listened, and we kept shaping our programs, based on the feedbacks we got. So I'll just leave that there because my time is running fast. Number 4, lead together. Leadership is not a solo sport. It's not a solo sport. I look like someone that fly alone, but I mean, you've seen now that I have a team of robust individuals, you know, and not all of them performed 100%, but at least we empowered, you know. It's not a solo sport. It's not. No matter how gifted you are, no matter how experienced you are, you can't run a successful branch or chapter alone. You need to know that now. And the earlier you realize that, the more effective your tenure will be. You have to lead together, build a team, build alignment, build trust. You know, the first thing I did when I became chairman was to look beyond just, you know, the core executives. Start asking, who else can lead? Who else is passionate? Who else is ready, you know, to own a part of this vision? And that's how we, you know, we started forming committees, real working committees, not decorative ones. We brought in people from every chapter, you know, Otao, Agbara, Okemoson, Jeburemo, RCCG. We brought people from everywhere. The goal was not just inclusion, it was decentralization, empowerment, inclusion. We wanted to spread responsibility and multiply momentum. We integrated chapter chairmen into executive meetings, yes. All the chapter chairmen, you know, became part of the executive committee for the first time. And not just to fill seats, but, you know, to create a sense of ownership. A sense of ownership. People commit more when they feel involved. They commit more when they feel involved. So when they feel seen, they commit more. When they feel responsible, they commit more. And that's the key word here, ownership. Ownership. Every executive must own their role, not by title, but by performance. They must own their role. Chairman, let other executives do their job. If they are failing, support. But let them do their job. Let committees work. Because leadership is not about showing up. You know, you have to deliver. You have to follow through. So you don't build a branch by doing everything yourself. You don't do it. You build it by empowering others. You delegate. You delegate. But you don't just delegate for convenience. You delegate with clarity, with expectations, with accountability, as I've said earlier. You know, because delegation without follow-up is abdication. What is not a committee without commitment? We commit blunder, like, you know, we say around here. So we had clear deliverables for each committee. And more importantly, we back them with trust. We said to our people, you've got this, you know, we trust you to lead. We believe in you, you know. Quite a lot of them failed, but they failed forward. They learned from their mistakes and they moved forward. And what happened? People rose to the occasion. People you didn't believe will come out of their shells, they came out and they rose to the occasion. Because when you give people responsibility, you give them dignity. And when people feel trusted, they perform. They perform. They perform very well. And for all they talk about teamwork and collaboration, nothing replaces leading by example. Yes. You see me everywhere, as if this was my full-time job. You have to lead by example. Nobody is paying us, but we were always there. We're always available. CIPM is about sacrifice. Leadership is about sacrifice. As a leader, you set the tone. You set the energy. You set the standard. And let me say it plainly, you can't be distant and expect your team to be committed. You can't be distant and expect members as executives, irrespective of the role you are playing. You can't be distant and expect members of the institute at your level. If there is apathy, then check the executives. You are the one, you are the culture shaper. You know, we say in organizations that management team are the culture shaper. Yes, you are the one shaping the culture, the temperature of the institute at your local level. So you must lead with visibility, with integrity, with consistency. You must lead. And yes, it will cost you. It's going to cost you your time. It's going to cost you your convenience. It's going to cost you your weekends. I literally had no life, you know, when I was doing this job. I mean, God helped me. God helped me. So I leave that there and move to, because again, time is flying. So innovation and continuous improvement. What worked last year may not be enough this year. And what wowed members last quarter might feel outdated by the next. And that's why, as the leaders, we must cultivate a mindset of continuous improvement. Always asking, How can we do this better? How can we, what can we introduce? Because innovation is about value creation. We're talking about staying relevant here. It's about delivering smarter, faster and deeper impact consistently. You're doing it consistently. So you can't dwell on yesterday's knowledge to solve today's problem. And it's easy to fall into the trap of repetition. You organize a program, it works. Congratulations. You do it again, it works. And then before you know it, you are running an autopilot. Same template, same routine, same feedback. It's sitting on a keg of gunpowder. Leadership demands more. Leadership demands more. It demands that we look at every success and ask, what's next? How do we improve this? You're not just saying, you're not just doing activities for activity's sake. You need to stay ahead of the curve. During my time as the chairman, we challenged ourselves with a question consistently. We benchmark, not just within CIPM, but outside. We looked at what CIPD was doing, in the UK. We examined SHRIM, their approach in the US. We learned from people, that have gone ahead of us. Mrs. Chidima Obejesi, most of the results you see us do, she whispered it to me. I mean, if you leverage the strength of those that have gone ahead of you, you are going to enjoy, a fruitful tenure. You're going to enjoy a fruitful tenure. She was the one that whispered to us. One day we want to buy land. She whispered to us, Oga, approach government. And we approached government and they gave us 2 hectares of land. We would have been foolish. We would have gone to buy land. And I'm saying it to you now. Some of you can also approach, your government. If you have strong relationship with them, you can get more from them. ECM Adeyemi Ajayi was practically with us all the way, opening Lagos book for us. Even though Lagos will say I was competing with them, no, Lagos was a clear leader. So I kept peeping into their notes, and that's why we were able to achieve what we achieved. So ask questions, and you can't say we were foolish, because the results, best branch award back to back twice for the first time in the history of the institute. So you can't give that credit to us. You can't give that credit to us. It belongs to all of us in the institute. Those that have gone ahead of us were the ones that taught us how to also catch up. So, do same. You have people around you, ask questions. So I'll leave that there, and because of our time, I believe enough, a word is enough for the wise. Digital transformation. You saw all the things we did. For the sake of our time, let me just move on. 6, engagement and visibility. It's not enough to do the work. People need to see the work. What's the essence of winking in the dark? People need to feel connected to the work. As a branch or chapter leader, you need to nurture a community. And communities don't thrive in silence. We all know this. They thrive on communication, on connection, on celebration. So the first thing I'll say is engage your people. Yes, talk to them, listen to them, keep them in the loop. During my time as the chairman, we knew we had to close the gap, the communication gap. And that's why we set up, a central WhatsApp community, single structured platform that brought all our members together, for connection, real-time dialogue, quick feedback, immediate reach. And we didn't stop there. We had to build an official email system, issued regular updates. Some of you here get our email. Some of you have subscribed to our programs. And we made sure that, our members never had to wonder what's happening or where the branch was headed. Because when you lead with transparency, you build trust. You build trust. So they know. There's nothing catches them by surprise. They are well informed. And when you build trust, what follows? Engagement. You also recognize our people. You need to celebrate their achievements, spotlight their milestones. Whether someone is celebrating birthday or, is it a new job, maybe they earned a new certification or was promoted, in the organization, let the branch know, celebrate loudly, celebrate proudly. We have to engage a graphic artist. Yes, engage a graphic artist. Anybody celebrating anything, the graphic artist designs something and we push. I mean, people are happy, people are engaged, they feel proud, they feel belonged to, the institute. People stay where they are seen. People say where they are seen. People commit, where they are celebrated. They commit where they are celebrated. And recognition is a huge retention strategy. We all know this. I know we do happy hours. Some of us do. We spotlight staff of the month. All of those in our organizations. So let's repeat that here. And when it comes to visibility, don't keep your success to yourself. Push it out there. Share it. Tell your story. Because if you don't tell your story, who will? Who will tell your story for you? Blow your trumpet. And one of the most important transformational things we did during my time, was to launch our magazine, the Innovera magazine. So it was bold, a strategic move to position our branch as a thought leader in the HR space. And it worked. Media coverage increased. We were almost, on news, on all newspapers. My sister at HQ, the head of communications, Esther, would say, I was competing with HQ. No, we were deliberate about all this, and they were very proud of us. So make the institute proud also. So we move forward from there. Stakeholder engagement, stakeholder management. No branch can really thrive in isolation. We all know that. And let me say it again, no branch can grow in a silo. So if we are going to lead effectively, we must learn to navigate and nurture relationships, both within and outside of the institute. CIPM has, been very clear on this. Every branch is expected to carry out course visits, industrial visits, advocacy engagements, and at least, 2 each year, twice every year. We're expected to forge strategic partnerships, deepen relevance and open doors of visibility, doors of growth, for influence in all of these places. So we must begin to think like nation builders, not just HR professionals managing meetings, but leaders who are shaping conversations in government, in the academia and in the private sector. When we sit with HR directors in key industries, when we engage vice chancellors and provosts, when we speak, to the head of services of our various state branches, to commissioners and policy influencers, what are we doing with them? What we're doing is that we are positioning CIPM as a trusted voice, a strategic voice in the affairs of Nigeria. And these visits are platforms, platforms to collaborate with them, platforms to open up membership opportunities. Yes, membership. We went as far as Ekiti. I met with the Speaker of Ekiti House of Assembly. I don't know how far HQ has gone with that. We met with members of the House of Assembly of Ekiti, State House of Assembly. All of them said they wanted to join CIPM. We went to Futa. We went to LASU. The entire leadership of LASU, the vice chancellor, the deputy vice chancellor, the registrar, we brought all of them into CIPM. Everywhere we go, we just pack them. Because the value, the aura of the value we offer is too loud to be ignored. We make them feel like if you are not with CIPM, you are lost, you are gone. So all of these conversations are things we must continue to do. Now, for the visits, we're expected to visit NYSC orientation camps because we need to build pipelines. CIPM has a mandate that branches engage with tertiary institutions and NYSC orientation camp. We have to ensure that this works. We can't wait for young professionals to find us, and after they have entered the wrong institute, after they have entered the workforce, we must reach them before they get there. We have competition. I've said it times and again. Institutes without the charter, parading themselves, as Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management in Nigeria. And if we don't move fast, we will lose the market share to these dwarfs. Yes, they are dwarfs, but we will lose the market share. We that are the custodian, they are the owners, they are the sons of the soil. So we must continue to position CIPM in the minds of all these people while they are still forming their professional identity. We must plant the seed early so that when they think HR, they think CIPM. So I'm going to point 10, and
Nice,
so I'll just rush the last 3 points. The next point, financial stewardship. Financial stewardship. Let's talk money. Yes, money. Because no matter how passionate your vision is, no matter how brilliant your programs are, if the finances are weak, everything begins to wobble. You must know what's coming in, what's going out, and why. So as a branch and chapter leader, you need to develop a realistic, operationally sound budget. Yes, and not just a budget on paper, but a budget that is grounded in the actual economic realities around you. Be honest about your income. Be disciplined about your spending. And please, budget to execute, not just to exist. You need to budget to execute. And beyond budgeting, you should also be talking about diversification. Diversification, depending on member subscription alone, will not get you far. Not in this economy of today, this Baba Blue economy. Not with this rising cost, in Nigeria. Not with the increasing expectations from your members. They want you to do everything for them, yet they are not paying. So we must think like entrepreneurs. Create new income streams, training programs, paid webinars, certificate programs, sponsored events, ad placements in your newsletter or magazines. You have to see every program as an opportunity, not just for impact, but for income. And I don't mean you should monetize everything. No, I'm not saying you should monetize everything, but you must develop a financial model where value drives revenue. Value drives revenue. When you give them value, they give you, their money, and the revenue sustains value. So I leave that there because of our time. Second to the last point I want to say is that you build succession plan. Every tenure has an expiry date, but not every tenure leaves behind a future. Not every tenure leaves behind a future. Some of us are only jekuje. We finish everything and before we move. Sincere apologies to us. I'm also on this, on this table. And so one of the marks of a wise leader is to start preparing for the end before the end. You start preparing for the end before the end. Don't start succession planning in your final months. Start thinking, about it from the beginning. The moment you take office, you should already be watching who is rising, who is committed, who is teachable. Because if you leave the branch strong but empty, you have not led well. You have not led well. And let me say this again. If you leave the branch better, but leave no one behind to carry it forward, that's not success. That's disruption. And during my time as the chairman, you saw that, as a matter of fact, one of the conferences, I was at HQ facilitating, and they were doing the conference there. It was because people were on ground, people full ground, Brekete. We've gone everywhere, we've raised, successors. And so it was easy for us to transit. We didn't transit, and they didn't know what to do. As a matter of fact, since my second tenure, since I assumed office, my vice chairman has started acting as a chairman right from the word go. She's on this call and she can testify. I told her, it's not when you come in that you start learning how to be a chairman. Start learning now. Let me know who wants to, who wants to go against you, because we have a succession plan. I'm not saying that you should have candidates. We, in Ogun State branch, we already have a succession plan that all of us adopted. So the vice chairman, comes in as the chairman. So it's not my idea. So the moment the vice chairman comes in, we all know that she's going to be the next chairman if she does not commit, any crime. So we built that succession plan, and today she's doing well by the mercies of God. And last but not the least, the God factor. Permit me to say this with all sense of responsibility, and with no apologies. Don't joke with the God factor. Don't joke with the God factor. Yes, we are professionals. Yes, we do strategic planning. We manage teams. We balance books. We run programs. But above all, we pray. You see, there's a dimension of leadership that human wisdom alone cannot assess.
Hello, my ECM.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
So I will end it here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you once again for the opportunity to be here. I'm most grateful to the entire leadership team for the opportunity to facilitate this session. Thank you and God bless.